Good Sunday evening to everyone. You know what this is. This is the Sunday Smash All Welcome Call panel. Begins right after this. How is everybody this evening? Again, this is Sunday, the All Welcome panel call in. Not call panel in call panel call, all call panel call in show. But more importantly, this is the video call-in show. Welcome back. And this is the show that invites you to be a live video guest on this program to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. Now, joining is quite easy. All you've got to do is point your browser to zoom.us, click on join a meeting, enter in that meeting ID number when it calls for it. You will come into the green room and we'll bring you up. Normally one first come, first serve, one by one, but now all good people are invited to come up, as is customary on my Sunday night panels. Now, I want everybody to be good. I want everybody to wait their turn and talk one at a time. And I want everybody to have fun. Now, this is your chance to knock the green off, to just work out the rust, the rust spots, the tough spots. If you're uncomfortable being on camera, easy for me to say, right? Then this is a great way to do it. There is no invitation needed. You have an open invitation. Now, having said that, who amongst you expected me to come on an hour early? If you would, in the chat, tell me about it. If I could get this chat working. In the meantime, I'll say hello to the folks that have joined us thus far. We've got, of course, Gianna. How you doing, Gianna? We've got Drone Kings in Darwin. Brad, always nice to see you. Brandon, 1998. Welcome to the show, my friend. David, the producer. How are you, my friend? How you guys doing? Susan Hamilton. Hello, hello, hello. Luke Duke, Outdoors. How you doing, buddy? Right now, I'm not seeing any of those chat. That's disconcerting. Let me just going to run a test here. Test chat real fast while we're waiting for folks to come in. We'll see how that goes. Something popped up. That was fun. Okay. Nothing showed up here. Okay, so I'm still doing some testing, as you know, and that is consolidation of chat, which is, been the bane of my existence for probably the last 2 or 3 weeks now. I've got 5 for 5, and yet it's not showing up. But hey, you know how that is. Oh, I thought I had it figured out too, because I made a settings change, and we'll see how that works out tonight. Tonight, it'll be interesting to see how it actually does work out. We will go to the panel as soon as we get some more folks up in here. But for now, I'm going to rant and rave about, well, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. If I rant and rave now about daylight savings time, that will ruin my Wednesday show. You should know that Wednesday show is all about, or no, is it Tuesday show? No, I have to go look. It's so funny when you do this. How are you, Bucket List? Sess, good to see you. Jimmy C and friends, how are you? Outdoorsy Gal, oh, Chrissy, how are you? Good to see you. Arthur Moorhead, you are on time, my friend. You are on time. You made it that's great, man. That is great. Pixelpedia, how you doing? Good to see you guys. As you know, tonight is the open panel show, so you guys are more than welcome to pop in, and we can talk about anything. If you want to talk about time zone and how frustrating that can be, since most of us just turned back our clocks, we can talk about that, even though it is a show this week, and I really need to find out exactly when, because you get so involved in creating shows and doing guest cuts and that sort of thing. After a while, man, it all starts to blend together. American Gold Prospectors, how are you? Welcome to the show. Good to see you. Jesse Mendez, how you doing, my brother? And if you're new here and just wondering why some of these folks on the YouTube chat have wrenches, why, it's because they have actually been on the show. Good people watching my back. So let's see. Yes, it is my Tuesday show. Yes, okay. My Tuesday show is all about time change. I want to hear your guys' perspective on that. Is as you could probably tell, I've got mine, and it's one of those. Let's see. 1 hour late will delay comments by 1 hour. You're probably right, Brad. You're probably right. It's my chat is delayed by 1 hour, and it took Restream a long time to pop up today. I actually, this is funny because I was sure I clicked off Facebook. Well, Facebook is on. Welcome to you guys watching on Facebook. And Periscope is off, which is really strange because that's not how that worked. That's not how that worked at all. I'm going to restart this chat and see if it picks up what I'm laying down, what you guys are actually laying down. Let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about this beast that is YouTube. I know Roberta Blake had a good video come out in the last couple of days, and it was all about not expecting to hit it big right away. And I think that's great advice because so many people believe that they're just going to hit it big and start making millions on ad revenue, and that's just not the case. At the same time, a lot of people get stuck in what's called analysis paralysis. They look at some of their favorite content creators and how well their stuff is done. And rather than just going at it right away with a cell phone, look at some of the big ones. He was talking about PewDiePie and the Mr. Beast. They all started out with their cell phones. And it took them, I don't remember the exact number, but what he was talking about was how many videos they actually posted. 100 was his benchmark. And it took them 100 videos to reach X number of subs. One dude, 100 videos, and before he got 74 subs. But a lot of them were Facebook topic nightmare show. Facebook is, yes, I should do that. Oh, let's see here. What have I missed? What have I missed in the chat? Hello, Manic Magic Lives. That's screwing me up. It reminds me of Timey Lives. Or Timey Lives. Timey Lives in your Manic Magic Lives. Flash in your pan. How you doing, Ned? Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Facebook topic is nightmare show. Facebook as a topic should be a nightmare show, but just the same as a Twitter topic or a YouTube topic or any of those sort of things, as you well know. Good to see all you guys in here. That's fantastic. So yeah, jump on up on the panel, guys. We'll talk about all kinds of good stuff. It don't matter. I've got one in the wings. When we get another one, I'll bust it out, or not, because we don't have. These panel shows are not going to last long on my channel, and I tell you why. Because it's not. I wouldn't call it off of my focus, but I really think the value here is one-on-one. But I do like to give people an opportunity to jump on a panel and get used to being on camera, because there are a lot of people that are not used to being on camera. We can tell that by most of the videos that are put out where people don't like to show their face on camera. And there's nothing wrong with not liking to show your face on camera. But I tell you, yes, Jacob, how you doing? Yes, there is. We have one person in the queue right now. So you guys are more than welcome to jump up. We're going to keep it to about an hour tonight because I have a doctor's appointment. My follow-up back appointment is tomorrow morning early. So we are not going to go long tonight. Trust me on that one. And then the following night, I'll also be holding it to an hour. And I know a lot of times on the panel shows, I'll go to about 2 hours. Love doing that because it does open things up. Ooh, deer camp. Oh, man, do I miss deer camp, Luke Duke. Welcome to the show, by the way, Jacob. Good to see you, my brother. Yeah, I don't think it will, Brandon. I think everything's pretty solid. The only thing that's not working correctly is this stupid ass chat, and that's pissing me off. I can see all you guys, but I should be able to see it over here. You know what? If I was smart, I would just take a little bit of time while you guys are deciding whether or not to come up and just go look at some stuff. How about I do that? Just for fun. Just for fun, because I'm watching it happen over there. I'm just not seeing it here. So that means that perhaps, oh, I don't want, yeah, pausing that. Welcome to the chat room. Ain't shit happening over there. That's great. That's great. That's just freaking great. Just when you think you have things figured out, technically speaking, is the moment you find out that you don't. And I can't believe that this would work on my tests and not here. So, oh, look at that. Okay, give me a second, folks, and I will literally start the panel. Okay, so that went through, but nothing else is going through. God. All right, that just rather than get angry, I'm going to ignore that for now. We're going to go back to square one and have fun just doing this. All right. Bear with me, folks. Bear with me. All right. Admit. Okay, let me hide myself. Okay. There we go.
Having hard times with your stuff, Jim?
Yes, Ed, I am.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you, Brandon. Hang on, buddy. It is extraordinarily frustrating, Ed, as you know, man. As you know.
Yeah. Can very well be, and often is.
Brandon, thank you for knocking over my cherry Coke bottle.
Nice.
Boy, he has long arms or legs from all the way across the pond. His name, Brandon's from Upper England, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Angel, hello.
Like when you just watch panel video.
I'm sorry, what's just a minute. Brandon, what'd you say, bud?
Like when you did my panel video, I did a rough edit version, to make it more quick for my YouTube video.
Oh, you mean the guest cut? Yeah.
Yeah, just cut it down a bit more.
I did see that.
So it gets the sentences much quicker.
Sure. And that's fine. That's fine. It looked good to me. I was okay with it. So how are you doing tonight, Brandon?
Not that bad.
Good.
Had a great Halloween.
Oh, fantastic.
This is much what left I got. Andy, what do you want to call it in America?
What do you call it?
Sweets.
Oh, sweets. Right.
Yeah,
because here in America, we often refer to anything with sugar as candy, whether it's a Reese's peanut butter cup or simply a...
Yeah.
That is true. And speaking of which...
if my teeth start chattering, we turn off the heating in the house to save heating,
Oh, man. That sounds brutal.
At night time, I just sleep inside my bed covers.
Well, that is how it's done. We'll say hello to Pixel Pia. How you doing, Pia?
I'm okay.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I shouldn't be here. I should film. As you see, I'm not sitting on the floor today.
I see that.
I'm set up to film.
Well, don't let me get don't let me get in the way of that, hon. Seriously, if
no problem. I have been postponing it all weekend.
I hear that. I do it as well, especially on the guest cuts. It's like got to carve out some time and just dig into it.
I actually always have 2 weeks of videos up there, so it's no big deal.
Oh, you have them up as drafts?
Yeah. No, I do everything ready. So every Sunday night I have 6 videos ready and scheduled, everything done.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Yep. That way I can take little short vacations.
Sure, sure. Well, how you doing, Angel?
I'm doing well. I have been testing out something lately, and I want to know if you guys can notice a difference.
You're testing out something now, and you want us to know if we can see the difference?
You probably know what it is, Jim, and everyone in some of the people in the chat. But I want to see if they notice a difference in the screen resolution or clarity.
I think you just gave it away.
New quality phone or camera?
I've been testing out my new phone over the weekend because I showed it out last night before you and Micah headed to bed.
I got my phone right here.
Did my stream pretty late, but it was.
I turned it off before starting the stream.
Brandon, Angel's trying to talk. Go ahead, Angel.
As I was saying, yeah, I got a new phone this past Friday, and I showed it a bit on my stream last night before you had to go to bed. But the thing is, I wish we were in the same time zone that you could come on my stream.
Well, we don't have to be on the same time zone, Angel. It's just it's a matter of being in the right time in the right place, right? Because sometimes I'll just have YouTube videos, live shows or whatnot on in the background.
Like in the UK for me right now, it's 03.16. That's my time right now.
3 a.m.
I don't know about time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I imagine that's 3 a.m. Across the pond.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more of a function of finding the right time, Angel. When I actually have time to go up on a live stream. But one of these days, bud, it'll happen. And I did see your phone.
It's all about like trying to find a time, man. I would love for you to come on one day.
Brandon, when somebody's talking, buddy. Brandon, when somebody's talking, you gotta be quiet, okay? And then you can talk when you find an opening.
I know. I find it real hard to do.
I know, but it's common courtesy, and I would appreciate it, bud. Okay. All right, Ed, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Doing good.
Good. Missed your stream the other night, man. I'm sorry about that. I saw you were selling some, or no, you're opening some coins. Is that right?
Yeah. Yesterday I did a coin roll hunt. I had 20 rolls of pennies.
Sweet. Did you find anything good?
A bunch of Wheaties. They were all Wheaties. I found a little 60 1943 Steelies.
Oh.
Several 55s. I haven't gone through. I took out all the Steelies first. And then I started going through the rest to look for key dates and stuff. And I got through a few handfuls, but we were already into it for like 3 hours. And I'm like, okay, I think after this last handful, I'm going to call it a night. So I still have a lot to go through to look for key dates. But it was fun. It's a new thing I've been experimenting with.
Yeah, I think it's great, man. I don't know about you. Well, no, I probably do, but know about you, Ed. But not many people go through every bit of change that they get looking for those sort of things, and I'm one of those. I have to imagine you are too, right?
Well, actually, I save all my change. I don't spend it.
Yeah.
Just break the fiat, and when I get change, I put it in a cubby, in a container I have in my truck and a container in my room. When those get full, I bring them downstairs and I sort them out through denomination. And after a while, like once or twice a year, I'll go through it all, look for silvers, key dates, 90%ers, 40%ers, error coins and whatnot. And the good stuff I find, I keep. the other clad and stuff, I cash in. And last time I cashed in, I made close to $500,
Nice.
which went towards my trip to my mom's.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it adds up. I still have quite a bit. Now I need to go through them again.
It just never ends.
No, it never does. Hi, Gana.
Yes, hi, Ganna. How are you? And we also have Bearded Tech Guy. Good to see you again. Nugget Brain Peterson's in here. How you doing, Nugget Brain? And Nebo Golden Ventures. Welcome to the show, guys. This is the panel show. This is the show where you need no invitation. It is right at the bottom of the screen. Yes, thank you, Brandon.
Hey, Eva, how you doing?
Yeah, we're just.
I didn't see Nebo sneak in.
I did not either. It took me by surprise. I didn't see Nugbrain either.
It's good to see him. Oh, I saw Nugget Brain. Hey, Jason, how you doing, Magic Joe?
Nugget Brain said you're still in your Halloween costume.
That's every day.
So how did everybody's weekend go? Good?
Weekend went terrific. Didn't do much. Just tested out my new Samsung Galaxy Note phone.
And you're digging it, right?
Uh-huh.
Good.
What phone did you get?
I got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.
I got it too. That's what I do all my videos on.
Well, someone has suggested to try doing videos on my phone, but it's just I'm more so of a PC kind of guy for editing videos, but I don't know how to add my own special effects to a video through a PC software.
Well, weren't you using Snapcam for a while?
Well, yeah, but I only I was using Snapcam for as a feature when I made that pre-recorded video where I did the freaks come out at night happy Halloween video.
There's my phone, right?
Microphone.
Yeah.
No contacts.
Ed, I'm gonna mute you. Okay. Sorry, Ed's wife walked in. Go ahead, Angel. Oh, you're breaking up bad. Hello, Magic Jones. How you doing, Jason? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, you were breaking up there for a minute, Angel. That darn Wi-Fi signal.
Angel,
for some odd reason.
Angel, do you know about always to film never this way, always to film this way? If you're filming when you're on.
Horizontal, not vertical.
That's the number one tip to always do.
Depends on what you're filming for.
That's true. That's true.
I'm still getting used to the PC edition of this.
Oh, of what, Brandon?
Zoom.
Oh. Yeah, a little more functionality if you actually have Zoom downloaded, for sure. When you go into settings, there's a lot more you can do than you can on a phone.
Mm-hmm. I was like going to, join soon. I downloaded it, but the time that your live stream went live, my dad walked in and I had to turn it off.
Ah.
I went to bed.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Oh, did I miss Magic Jones doing a Thompson Twins song? I don't remember.
Looks like it.
I know. Jason, what was it?
Hold me now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it was.
Hey, Jason, do a Metallica one.
Oh, man.
Which one? Fade to Black.
Fade to Black?
In a Jason style. It would be epic.
It would. It would. Hey, Gaffa Haynes, how you doing?
If I'm looking at this way, it's where my screen is, and my camera's like here, directly the opposite side of it.
That's why I decided to put a monitor in a teleprompter. So I can, and now when you see me look down, I'm actually looking at the Zoom interface, but I have it right in front of me as well. So when I'm,
Oh, yeah, my course that I do, like, they have that for their cameras.
mhm.
It's not a bad idea for a rig.
Oh, it's fantastic because then I can look straight at folks and not look off to the side, which
Mhm.
for me is a little disconcerting, but you know how that is. Well,
Okay. Okay.
Panel. Hello.
so Angel's back.
Is that better now, guys?
Yeah, it seems like it was before you dropped off, Angel. You just
Because I wasn't connected to my Wi-Fi, that's the thing.
oh yeah. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Yeah, in my
This is my
apartment,
favorite.
my cellular service is a bit weakened, so I need to have a Wi-Fi connection to get the maximum strength of connectivity on this phone.
Fizzy Pops. Interesting. I've been away from candy so long I don't even know if we have those here in the States. Hello, Jacob. How you doing, man?
Hey Jim, how you doing, man? It's great to be on your show again. Apologize I haven't been around and as active as much as I'd like to. I've been exploring the depths of YouTube, and it has not been disappointing so far.
It's been nothing but disappointing.
It has not been disappointing. There is a lot of stuff out there, and there are a lot of different people, a lot of different personalities, and I mean the internet's always dramatic. But YouTube can be very, very dramatic, and I'm starting to see some feuds and stuff like that. So it's been rather entertaining.
Welcome to my channel anytime. I love what you do with your channel, whether it's a gaming stream or a Feedback Fridays, and I even enjoyed the little video that you did about almost a week ago about the competition between the streaming wars of like Netflix, Hulu, and the upcoming service Disney Plus.
Awesome, man. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. I've actually been seeing you around quite a bit. I will say you're probably one of the most active YouTube content creators I've seen so far. You spend a lot of time on. You're with a lot of communities and stuff. So it's great to see you, and I'm really glad that we've been able to kind of build this relationship up.
Well, I try to make time for my own creations as well, in addition to hanging around with a bunch of YouTubers and stream. But it's kind of hard to do it when you a job now, because yes, I do have a job, but it's a volunteer position that I've talked about many times. And on top of that, I've been spending a lot of time with my family here in Arizona, so it's kind of hard to keep up with the channel and around the communities when I'm active all around YouTube, a bunch of panels, and when I'm trying to figure out my own creations.
Well, that's awesome. That's half of the game, and Jim talks about this quite a bit, and I will say with all the channels that I've been running into online, Jim, you have one of the most professional and the best call-in that I've still seen so far. I mean, you're rocking it, dude, and that's not blowing smoke. Like you have a great production here, so I try to catch you as much as I can and learn what I can. But there's yeah, there's a lot out there. There really is a lot out there, and like what you say about obviously networking is also the name of the game as well, and not just creating content. And I've been focusing several days a week just going out and networking and meeting new creators and bouncing ideas off each other and being a part of the community. And I've seen more of a response in my subscriber count with actually interacting with other content creators and other people in business and everything else than what I'm bringing in on my videos. So it really is, there's two different ways. There's two strategies you need to use to continue growing your channel, and I'm starting to kind of hit a little bit of stride on my end. And the things that you say, and with your thumbnails and your focus and your CTR and the way that you do things, you have some really solid advice for a lot of your subscribers here that watch your show. So I have learned quite a bit from you. So I appreciate you having me on tonight.
Oh well, thanks, man. And yeah, thanks for the kind words. It's always been my mantra. Well, I should say always, because having optimized for search engines for the better part of 20 years, what I've learned in my time on YouTube thus far is that this search engine doesn't work like most search engine does, and I've been very vocal about how I've optimized for several keywords and I don't show up for them, which tells me that there's something. There are many more metrics that are involved. It's still a popularity contest. There's no question about that. But
I use vidIQ.
Yeah, I have. I'm more of a two-body guy, but I lost my train of thought. At any rate, it's I want to say hello really quick to Ronnie G. How you doing, Ronnie G? Chop It Up is in the house as well. How you doing? But I think it's important that when you go to network, um, do what I always advocate, and that is subscribe to your tastes, and expect others to do the same. But the reason that networking is so important is because you get in front of people that you normally wouldn't know that you exist. And if they do, in fact, like your content, then fantastic. If they don't, and usually you can tell because they're immediate to subscribe, and then if you don't subscribe back to them immediately, they're gone. And I have no use for that sort of tactic because they're looking
And
for.
that's rampant.
Oh,
That is
yes,
rampant, man.
absolutely rampant. Drives me batty, honestly.
All right. Well, it hurts you. I
Yes.
mean, you've got a background in this, and so do I. And I mean, it hurts. I mean, because if you have a bunch of dead subscribers and people that are not engaging in your content, they're not watching the videos that you're putting out in the first place. So the algorithm picks up that your content is not of quality or not of interest, even to your subscribers,
Mhm.
because your sub to view count is a horrible ratio. And so it further deprioritizes your ranking. So you have the best keywords out there, the whole 9 yards, and they all play together with their thumbs, with their attractive title, the whole 9 yards. And so that just further nerfs your own progress. And a lot of people and you identified something, and you're one of the first people. Matter of fact, you're one of the first channels I got as involved as I did because I'm very new to YouTube. And I saw your production quality and how you are, and you're very mild, you're very non-biased, you give the facts, and you stick to your guns, and that's highly respectable and hard to find. And when you say the paralysis by analytics or the paralysis by numbers, that is a very real thing, and people fall in love with these numbers so awful much, even though it's a poison that it hurts them at the end. And people just can't grasp that. I mean, it's quality over quantity. It's always quality over quantity.
That's true. That is absolutely true. That is that. Roberto Blake had a good argument for quantity, and that is
Huge fan.
yeah. What he was talking about, and I agree with this to some extent was, and he was using, like I said earlier, several creators as an example. It took PewDiePie like 100 videos to get 35K, which on his level, that's here. um,
Yeah.
he mentioned somebody else that it took them 100 videos to get to X number of subscribers, and then one dude, I can't remember his name either. You guys will have to go out and look at that video. Took him 100 videos before he had 74 subscribers. And I actually commented on the video because it was great advice. Oh my, that was loud.
Sorry.
That's okay. But his point was that you can't think that you're going to get great that quickly. If you do, it impedes your progress immensely. So you
Yeah.
just got to keep on keeping on.
Agreed. And the problem is a lot of people get discouraged because we're in a society now for instant gratification. So a lot of people, if they don't blow up in 3 or 4 weeks, they're done.
Mhm.
Just like people that go into business for themselves, if they're not millionaires in their first month, they want to quit and give up, and everything's a scam. And there's been a lot of really, really big YouTubers that have come out and said your first 100 videos suck. I'm on video like 102, I think, on my channel, and I'm just ready. I should be able to hit 600 subscribers tonight. But my videos are of not of high production quality. The content's good, the message is good, but I don't have polished products like a lot of these bigger guys do. So I can't sit there and go, oh well, things are geared against me, when I know that when it comes to attractiveness of the delivery of my content can always be better. And so, I mean, there are always things that you can improve to do better, but consistency. It's just like going to the gym. It's just like continuing your education or getting a better position in your job. It takes consistent hard work, and you need to put in honest work every day. And people just don't do that anymore. And they always use the exceptions. Oh well, PewDiePie did that. PewDiePie had 35,000 subscribers in 100 videos. It's like that is so beyond the bell curve of normal that there's not even a comparison. You're not a PewDiePie.
Right.
You're not a celebrity. I mean, you are a person that's trying to make a name for themselves, and so you need to be more realistic with your goals. And as long as you are comfortable with that, and then set achievable goals, and then once you start actually achieving them, then now you start getting fuel to the fire. You get motivated. You want more. You get hungry because you're not just spinning your wheels feeling like you're not going anywhere.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And I would say also that that you, like you were talking about, I did mention the analysis paralysis. You get too wrapped up in the numbers and you
Analysis
forget to create.
paralysis.
Yeah, you forget to create good content. And even though I'm a numbers guy and I tend to find myself jumping in the numbers a lot. I don't get analysis paralysis per se. I tend to just get angry, but
And
The
whenever you're
actual
done, Jim, I want
original
to add to what Jacob had said.
okay, sounds good, Angel. Give me a second here. Yeah, so I tend to get lost in the numbers and look at them from a different perspective. But I've always said that every time I think about whether or not this is moving where I want it to as quickly as I want it to, I keep thinking, who cares really? I love doing it, and that's what should be most important. And when you think that the numbers are where you're getting your satisfaction out of it, you may be doing it for the wrong reasons.
Agreed.
Is kind of the point. But go ahead, Angel. What were you going to say?
I just want to add to what Jacob said about his the videos having a great message and having a great quality, but it's not like the production. You gave me some great advice this past Friday during your Feedback Friday stream, where you played my Halloween video and the audio wasn't all that great. Yes, I admit that my audio from me recording on my Logitech webcam has not been all that great, but right now I don't have much of an option in terms of microphones and audio. And some of the people in your chat suggested to get a Blue Yeti, but those are highly expensive. And right now, money is quite tight for me at this moment, and I don't know what else to use to try to create a better audio video for my videos.
Where,
I have a few videos.
where are you located, Angel? Are you located in the United States? Are you in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm in Arizona.
Okay, give me your P.O. box or an address. I actually have a spare gaming headset with a microphone that I'm not using anymore, and I'll just send it out to you, dude. So give me your address after the stream.
Sure, I'll send you an email, or you can follow me back on Twitter, and I can message you there.
Sure.
Because I'm always following you, but I don't know if you're following me back, because a lot of people have their Twitter accounts set up where if you're following each other, that's the only way to message.
Okay. Is he still there? Did he cut out?
Yeah.
No.
I do that laugh kills me, man, every freaking time.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too, Jesse.
My laugh is one of everyone's favorite things about me, and I wish I could try to do more things with my laugh and such. But it's just right now, the only times I ever do have the laugh happen is when I'm having fun on another person's stream. And sometimes it's hard for people to come to my streams, like what happened last night, because I barely had anyone for almost 45 minutes.
I know that. Yeah, I know that feeling, Angel. I certainly know that feeling. I want to say hello real quickly to Emmanuel Goffey. How you doing, Emmanuel? And Ms. Hopkins 73 says hello, Angel. And hello to you, Ms. Hopkins.
Angel, you just have to go on. You know what I managed to do last week on my live stream? I set it to private, and I kept on jabbing away for 50 minutes without the person there, and I thought, where the heck are everybody? But I think I can't stop. And then afterwards, I realized I had it on private, so no wonder people didn't come. And of course, everybody on my friends was cursing over YouTube.
You can go into the YouTube settings while you're live streaming and change it.
Well, she didn't know it was on private though.
And I didn't go through YouTube. I was
the title.
I was live streaming on my phone. I'm using Prism, so you can live stream on your phone with less than 1,000 subscribers. And if you want to know
Yeah, I think that's quite annoying for people that used to could do live streams, but now you can't. To me, that just makes it unfair.
But
people
if I can do some self-promotion before I leave. Tomorrow, I have the tutorial on how to use Prism and live stream on your mobile with less than 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, there's a workaround for that.
You've got a video coming out for that, Pia?
A tutorial for it tomorrow. A tutorial about how to use Prism to live stream on your phone with less than 1,000 subs.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hello, Exploring Ginger. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I like my hat, by the way.
I do. What does it say? Hoover. Hoover Man?
Hooverman. Yeah.
Hoover Man.
It's an old video that I used to do.
Oh, I see. I see. That's why I didn't recognize it.
You can find it on my Brennan Jackson Classics.
Ah, very good.
Spelled lowercase.
Very good. Very good.
I'm gonna go, Jim. I'm gonna go. I have to film. I can't.
Do it, Pia. Get it done, Pia. All right. Thanks for being here, hon.
Yeah.
Always nice to see you.
Bye.
Hello, Dirty D's. How are you?
Bye.
Oh, and Dirty D says you can still do live mobile with Streamlabs. Now these are things I don't know because I don't use my phone for much of anything when it comes to.
I just use it for Instagram and tweets.
Yeah.
For my social media.
That's
I
another
use
thing.
Twitter to tweet out my YouTube videos. Instagram to show off my daily life, what things I get up to.
Yeah, that's another thing. The Instagram it's app only. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can
It drives me nuts.
from
You
the
can use your
computer.
computer on it.
I couldn't upload anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can upload.
use
There's a way to do
TV.
that.
Insta TV, you can upload videos.
Oh, okay.
The computer.
Cool.
Hi guys, welcome.
Hello, David, the producer. How are you, man?
Panel.
I am doing awesome, Jim.
I was just scrolling up the chat on my computer. That's why my head is turned the other way. And Outdoor Ego says it's Angel hitting his phone.
Yeah, well, we were having some clicking in the background when you were talking, Angel. It seems to have cleared up.
Angel, if I were you, hold your phone this way.
The reason why you were hitting your clicking is because I was typing on my keyboard.
Oh, I see. That makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah, certain phones that do that. Like when you type a letter, it goes.
And we
Well,
have
my sister's another phone, it just goes.
and we have someone new in the panel. How are you
It's
doing, Danny Black?
Hey, what's up? How are you guys doing?
Hey, Danny. Great
Good.
to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you guys too. I just want to pop on for a sec to say you guys are doing a great job.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. I know that you've been talking to Brad from Drone Kings and Darwin for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's old friend
me
of the
come
show. He's actually turned me on to you. I've been lurking in a couple of your not quite morning shows.
Oh, sweet. Dude, you should join me for some of that because especially the ones where I'm solo, it sucks. I hate being by myself.
Sorry about that. But like I was just telling, I think it was Angel. Sometimes I'll be working and I'll just go find a live stream and I'll have it playing in the background.
That's the best. Isn't that the best? I love that. Those are my favorite things to just have in the background while you're editing or something. You don't feel as alone. It's kind of nice. So
Exactly. One of these days, dude, I will. Absolutely. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate
My
it.
microphone used to have a stand as well, but it broke.
oh,
It's like a real cheap knockoff kind of stand. There's only like holding them by one, like soldering dot.
Nice. That does happen. You get what you pay for. It's a Marine.
Always. I had the PSA 1 for a mic stand. I use it actually for my camera stand. To be honest, it's a really good camera stand. That way I can get the straight down shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like if you are doing a drawing video.
Yeah, exactly. But I went and got the blue. I think is it compass. No, it's the blue something.
The compass is the
I
solid
was
one,
thinking about
like this guy.
There's that same one, right?
Yeah, that's the compass.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I have a different kind of.
I got the Freddy desk
Freddy desk.
from IKEA.
I got the wire hanger.
I have that same one as well too, David, the producer. But every time I'd hit it, it'd be like, chung, like it'd have, like the springs would hit it.
Exactly. Yes. I know. I'm going Joe Rogan next week. Believe me, this thing's getting dumped in the dumpster soon.
I took like ski socks and I cut them up and I put them over it to try to keep from the springs, but it just looked so weird.
I know. I did a rag on it, and it was I'll call it very hobo.
Hobo chic.
Yeah, hobo chic.
Hobo chic. Yeah. Very good.
Believe me, I've been there. I chucked my my $18 Chinesium mic scissor arm not too well, about a year. Well, that was about 6-8 months ago. I got tired of that real fast. No more wire hanging.
I just wanted to pop on to say I'll keep you guys in the background editing some stuff, but I just thought I'd pop on.
Cool, Danny. Now I'm on every night at this time at 10 o'clock. This is Eastern. Where are you at? Are you in you down
I'm
under?
in Brisbane, Australia. So it's 1:45 p.m. Monday right now. So
okay.
That works out pretty well for me, actually.
Well, I'd love to have you on a one-on-one, which is my normal Tuesday through Thursday shows at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard.
Anytime, you just let me know.
Anytime's good. It's like any of my shows. What I do is I set up a topic, and we can either talk about that topic or we can talk about whatever my guests want to. So you just pop on and pop in, man.
Let's do it. So, maybe not tomorrow, but the next couple of days. When do you do that? Just Tuesdays? Is that it?
No. Every Sunday through Thursday.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Yep. Sunday is the panel show. The other ones are one-on-one. So you're welcome anytime, man.
I've been following Jim for over 6 months, and basically Sundays are his panel stream. It used to be on Fridays
in the background,
but he does his one-on-one stream with a topic Monday through Thursday.
Thank you for that,
gotcha,
Angel.
okay.
So yeah, anytime, Danny.
Actually, it's funny that you do Sunday through Thursday, because for me, when I do the Not So Morning show on that channel, Not So Morning show, it's Monday through Friday, but for everyone else in the States, it's Sunday through Thursday. So it's like you actually come on. You're like the late show. You're the show after the show. Just push everyone over to you.
I'm made for you guys because for you guys it is Monday through Friday.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
What?
All right, I'll catch you guys later. I'll join sometime. Just send me a message. Let me know too if you want, and it'll be all good.
All right. Yeah. Cool, man.
Bye,
Thanks, Danny.
You might want to check on that dog. It doesn't look so good in the doorway.
He's just sleeping. Whiskey.
Just end it now.
Up, boy. Up.
He
Sit.
won't stop talking.
Sit.
Play dead.
Man, he's good.
He's moving. Yeah. Keep doing that. Good boy. Oh no. Now he's doing the opposite, of course.
Oh.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
All right. See you,
Good to
Danny.
meet you.
That was too perfect. Hey,
kudos to spotting the dog too. I wasn't even paying attention.
I wasn't either. That was awesome.
I thought it was a puppet. I swear to God.
It's his Halloween costume just laying there.
Exactly. You know, some people are into the furry thing. I get it.
Oh.
Hey,
You just let me know if I get loud.
about the furries.
Yeah.
But one at a time.
It was great meeting Danny.
It was. Seems like a nice guy. Like I said, I've popped into a stream a few times, more than a few times after Brad turned me on to him, and I like the show. I really do. Nice to meet you too, Danny. Monday through Friday for Danny. Yeah, you're right. It's I didn't even think of that because the Aussies, they're in the future. Right now, it's Monday for them.
Yeah.
So Drone Kings and Danny is
midnight Monday for me.
Yeah. Oh,
right
for
now.
you too. Is my day any better? And is my Monday going well over there?
What do I do today? Can I just stay home?
Yeah, exactly. Did I call in sick today or?
I turned my clocks back, but I tried doing it 20 years. It didn't work.
There you go. It's not time right now.
They don't make clocks the way they used to, do they, David?
No, they don't.
Well, the good part about living here in Arizona is that all Arizona people don't have to turn their clocks back because Arizona doesn't have daylight savings time.
Very true.
That is good too. I am I'm pissed off about it, honestly, and that's why I'm having a show
By the way,
Tuesday
how
night about
did
it.
your Halloween live stream go?
Who is mine?
Yeah.
Oh, this is where I call you out for not watching my shit.
How did you do your green
Boom,
screen?
segue.
No, man, that was one of the most fun shows I've done in forever. It was just one of those things where, I couldn't go on Halloween night, so I thought, screw it, I'm going to use that Nightmare show as my Halloween special, and that's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of fun. Had 5 people on.
Anytime we do a Halloween special, it should be "What's Your Nightmare?" every time.
That is actually a good
Yes.
subject for that show. Hello, Mike Phillips. How are you? And hello, Not So Morning Show. The world will end in the future. Oh, crap. Well, now we're being told that the world's going to end, but we know better because Brandon's still
You know,
around.
forget loud or not, because
I saw
early on.
I saw a meme. This was a couple of years ago, and I don't know if it was a troll or not, but I'm pretty sure it was a legitimate account because it was shared everywhere, all over the place. But it was some conspiracy theorist, younger female conspiracy theorist, talking about how everything was an inside job because China didn't warn us about 9/11 because they're X amount of hours ahead of us. So they
Oh,
didn't be able to
jeez.
warn us. It was a very popular meme for a while, and I kind of lost a little bit of faith in that day.
That'll do it.
Yeah, a little bit more than the other days.
Oh, good Lord. How you doing, Recycle Dude? Welcome to the show, man.
Recycle, dude.
Oh, I take this the right way, Recycle Dude. I love to get on your karaoke shows and try to find the most obscure song I possibly can and throw it at you. But I think you'd look for that. Nice. Those are sweets, by the way.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what he had in his hand.
Firecrackers or little ball rockets.
Yeah, sweet knuckles. Those are illegal in some states.
Sweet knuckles.
Be careful. You don't want to have to age restrict this thing.
Oh no, not again.
So it was pretty much like a flavored moose knuckle. Is that what it
Yeah.
is? Or?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Double camel. Oh, this could go off the rails real fast.
Oh,
Age restricted.
Must be. It's X Factor. I mean, not X Factor. I mean,
Don't hold it up so close,
X-Men.
Brandon.
it's X-Men.
X-Men.
X-Men. There you go. Yes.
Wolverine. Wolverine, yeah.
Wolverine. Did you not get what we're doing? Not too many to get the picture. What?
Lollies. Outdoorsy Gal calls them lollies. You guys call them lollies over there, Brandon?
Yeah, lollipops.
Lollipops? Oh, that was a horrible accent of mine. I get called out on it every time by Gamer.
Yeah, oh, my bad.
Are you making fun of
Which
us?
one shall I have, guys? 1, 2, or 3? Let me know in the chat.
I couldn't eat those if I wanted to.
I say you go for free.
Yes. A 1, a 2, a 3.
And 3.
How many licks?
Got that right.
You know what you should try to do is try to put it in your mouth and take the wrapper off without your hands. That's what you should stream online right now.
The ladies will love you.
I was going to say, you just brought me back to high school.
In a knot real quick.
Wow. That's a whole weekend right there.
That's at least a Saturday night.
Well, if he can do that, I'm flying to Australia.
And don't you wish you had a mute button now?
Oh man. I got the master mute button, but I'm not gonna
Yeah,
do
you
it.
do.
I'm not gonna do it. What are they gonna do? Demonetize me?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm sorry, I have to go to bed now.
All right, Brandon. Well, thanks for being here, bud. I appreciate
All right, Brandon, have a great night.
Take care, Brandon.
Yeah, good
Okay.
night, Brandon.
Take care.
it. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Ah, that's how you leave.
Bye.
Yes. There you go.
Just so everyone can know, what are your topics for this week there, Jim?
Well,
Look at him set you up.
I know, and I didn't even pay him.
Tell you what, you need to hire that kid.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Well, since you asked, I need to let me bring in Jelly Duck real fast, and then I need to drag in some icons.
Hi.
Say hello to Jelly Duck. How you doing, Jelly Duck?
Hey, Jelly Duck.
Jelly
Hey,
Duck,
Jelly.
no way. What's up, man?
Doing good? Am I muting, guys?
No, you're good,
You're
man. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
How you doing, Ahmed?
Well, actually, I'm actually doing good.
Good.
I was wondering. I was busy, totally busy, because I was just composing some music stuff.
Hello, Mrs. Pellet.
Ah. You're a musician?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the headphones on.
Musician and,
There's Jelly Duck right there.
How are you?
She's seeing Jelly Duck for the first time. She's all excited because he's a major supporter of my stuff. So she's a Jelly Duck fan.
Jelly Duck's a friend of the show. He's Jelly Duck. You came on a long time ago, didn't you?
yes.
Jelly Duck reminds me of Frank Zappa with a really short haircut.
Yes. Yes.
It's like a, I don't know, what is this called name? What is called the guy from the Beatles, Ringo Starr.
I'm not seeing Ringo so much as I am Frank Zappa.
Yeah, I kind of got a Zappa thing going.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a half.
Yeah.
like Frank Zappa and Ringo Starr had a love child.
Oh.
Very well could have.
There you go.
I don't even know how to take that.
Oh, it's probably a compliment to both of them, although a bit awkward. But hey.
But thanks for the compliment.
So what kind of music are you working on, Jelly Duck?
Well, obviously, I'm actually too busy right now because I was doing too much a graphic designer than doing some music projects, whatever.
Very
and then
cool.
Actually, I don't know. It's just not just EDM. I guess it's just
EDM.
Glitch music. It's not just the EDM, but it's the only thing. It's just a electronic music thing.
Trump music?
You know?
Did you say
what?
Trump? Did you say Trump music?
No.
Oh.
No.
I didn't think there was such a thing.
I said
Adult content, trigger warning.
That's got to be a forbidden word.
Hey, Crowder just called. He wants you on his network.
Good.
Because I'm giving you my crown, Jelly Duck, and you're the new king.
You're the new king of something, Ahmed. But go finish what you're saying because we talked all over you.
Yeah. I'm sorry because I can't hear you. Because I just want to say.
What kind of music were you talking about, Jelly Duck? Can you hear me?
Sorry, because it's I feel like annoyed because of this. Sorry, guys. Because the one thing I was actually just doing some music composer. I was making some sort of like techno experimental whatever.
Okay, cool, very cool. Can't wait to hear it, my friend. Can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, the thing is, I actually just made the first album. If you want to look at my playlist, go look it up. The first album. I think it's called my music project. It's called the Code Out Q. I think.
Code Out Q.
That was back in 2017. That was just I made an album like 2 years ago for making non-copyright. If you want to use my non-copyright, go ahead.
Good to know. Good to know.
Cool.
Probably gonna have him make a little bit of intro music for me one of these days. I need to. We talked about it a little bit, but I love his stuff. I love his graphics and his channel and everything. So he's a good dude. He's a super supporter for a lot of channels. So he's a pretty.
I
good dude. He's
actually
worth the look.
just donating you $10, and then you just surprised. You're writing you just write my name in your beer, actually.
Oh yes, yes. So he actually came in one of my streams at night because I play a game once in a while and I stream. It's just kind of a kickback and we all just BS and super informal or whatever. And I'm able to wind down, drink some beer. Well, he actually donated to because I have Streamlabs, so I have a website that and it's connected to my PayPal and everything, so you can donate without me being monetized. And so he donated to me. So I took one of my beers and I made a jelly duck beer. And I drank that live and talking about him and his channel and stuff. So it was pretty cool. So I really appreciate what
he
you
actually
do.
just obviously he just playing some Final Fantasy. You know, he just took some random stuff, whatever.
Nice. I have to go back and watch that. I popped into your gaming stream every once in a while, Jacob.
It's a horrible gaming stream. I'm not a gamer at all.
And I'm not a game watcher. I used to be a big gamer back in the day, but we're talking about the Doom days and
oh, dude, don't even get me started on Doom, bro.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me start. You're gonna make me buy another one.
Well, I finished Doom 1 and Doom 2, and then I was doing multiplayer for what did that morph into for multiplayer? I can't remember. And then it went on to what's that? Quake. Thank you.
Quake?
Yes, it was Quake. Absolutely. Did that for a
Man, you
while.
were talking my style, Jim.
Oh man, I was all over it.
That goes back.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. In fact, we used to have LAN parties at the television station I worked at years ago during our lunch hour. It was awesome. Just awesome.
Yeah, that was bad. Man, gaming was, and that's one of the reasons why I stuck with the Final Fantasy franchise, because that was actually one of the first games. Because I mean, I did the Pong thing, and then they had Tank on Atari, and did that, and then my very first like big game was what was it? Shadow Door or Shadow something for Nintendo.
Shadow Warrior? Oh, no.
It was Shadow something. It was that first person, and you're in a castle and you're trying to figure stuff out or whatever. Shadowgate.
Oh,
I think it
okay.
was called. And then Final Fantasy. And then when I got into Final Fantasy, I just fell in love with it, and I followed the series all throughout. But the last Final Fantasy I played was Final Fantasy X that was released in January of 2000. That was the last one I played. It's been almost 20 years.
Holy
so
cow.
Obviously, a lot has changed. So I saw this. I'm like, you know what? I'm on YouTube. I'm on stream, and here we go. So
somebody's allergic to Final Fantasy.
Well, I'm stuck on level 2 on Leisure Suit Larry. So anyone can help me out with some codes.
I can.
Anyone?
I can.
I haven't finished
Leisure Suit
it.
Larry, was it Mega Cum Laude or whatever the hell that first installment is?
That's right.
Because they came out with a second one that sucks.
Oh, yeah, I remember that back in the day. Yes.
Yeah, but I got you on the original Leisure Suit Larry. We need to connect after this.
Perfect. I remember the blonde. Yes.
Yeah,
he was pixelated, but she was hot.
Oh heck yeah! Or jumping on the trampoline. Oh come on.
All women are hot at 16-bit, man.
Running around with a little stick outfit and stuff, trying to impress somebody. Man, that was a cool game. That was a good game.
I upgraded a 32-bit D or double D. I forgot.
Oh man, we're all talking about games, and they're talking about it in the chat as well, right? You'll be interested to know, Jacob, that I still have an original Pong game in the box.
Nice.
My original Pong game. I also have my original 2600 with about I don't know, 25, 30 games. One of the original ETs, voted the worst game ever. And in fact, I did an entire show on it, and that's when I was talking to myself back in the day.
Did you ever see the landfill videos of that?
Yes, I did. I absolutely did. Yes.
Yeah.
Said there. I don't remember if they found them. I don't think they did, but yeah, it was in a landfill, and they had a lot of word about there being the dump, right, where Atari tried to get rid of them all.
Yep.
It was a lot like, if memory serves, it was a lot like Geraldo's Capone vault.
Are you guys reading the chat on this? You see what Mike Phillips said?
No,
David
huh?
looks like the more adult version of Leisure Suit Mary.
There you go.
There's a persona change for you, David.
Oh,
I'm in.
Crying. I'm absolutely crying. That's amazing.
Wait a second. I want to see on the chat. All
What?
the guys.
What's that, Jelly Duck? You can you see it, chat?
I want to see on the chat because I need to turn off the camera. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Yes, and I have an NES and an SNES as well. I hadn't gotten to those. I'm a sick man. Plus, Xbox. I think it's a 360. I used to have a Cube, but I think my boys got it, and then of course a Wii, which we were getting out of it at the time.
Danny Black. I never seen. Oh my gosh.
You're going way back, aren't you, Ahmed?
Oh my
yeah, Danny. I think is I think he's hanging out in the chat.
I watched it every time on his channel.
Oh, do you?
I think his name's Danny Black, or That's the Morning Show, or also known as X Here.
Yes, I've caught it several times myself. In fact, I think I've seen you chat in there before, if memory serves.
Yes.
I was just lurking though. 4 Xboxes, says Mike Phillips. 4X. Mike, is this the same Mike that was that you wanted to do a collab on, Mike? Is that you? Your icon looks familiar, my friend. I'm horrible with names. Isn't that right, Frank?
Yeah, that's right, Bob.
Yeah, I wish I could play. I wish I could play more games, man. I just don't have the time. And the only reason why I can justify even playing Final Fantasy is because I'm on YouTube now. And I've actually had some really, really cool one-on-one talks with people during that stream. So it has benefited me. I was really afraid I was going to alienate my core group and my core audience, but a lot of people seem to be taking really well for it. But I just can't. I can't justify the time because that's idle time that I'm not making money or I'm not, building something up or moving forward. So
that's the hard
part. It's just
part.
really, really hard for me to do that because there's just so many awesome. I mean, you look at the graphics and stuff on like this PS4 and this PS5 coming out, and it's unbelievable what they've done with technology. I mean, and I know with my personality, I could get to something like that, and it would just overtake my life.
Oh,
I know that would be, and it's that easy. It's that easy for me.
Yeah, well, you're talking to a former smoker. I'm the same way. I mean, it literally consumed my life for several years. Yeah. In fact, so much so that my brother and I were racing the NASCAR cars. Not that I was ever a NASCAR fan. Well, I haven't been since they stopped using stock cars in stock car racing. But we were doing the NASCAR. I think it was last one we did was 2004, and it even ended up with a Europe trip to meet all the guys that we were racing with, and we all went go-karting.
Wow,
no kid.
Yeah,
that's cool.
In Belgium, awesome. It was fantastic.
See, that's a cool experience, though. I mean, that's a great thing. It's not like some of the people that will forsake their marriages and not take care of their kids. I mean, remember that couple that let their kid die when WoW was super popular, and they tried to blame Blizzard for making too addictive of a game, and that's why their kid literally starved to death. Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
I don't even remember that story. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
It's
they're trying to go after Fortnite now. They're trying to say that the developers knew they've created such an addictive game that is now, stunting development and making kids introverts, and kids are skipping school and all these other things. They're trying to blame Fortnite for it now. It's been in the news quite a bit.
I'm actually not a big fan of Fortnite. I just keep playing as a Minecraft as well because I'm addicted to video game as well.
Oh, you are?
Yes.
How do you find time to work, Jelly Duck?
Well, in my mind, I actually just playing a Call of Duty. I'm playing Minecraft, even like just playing some, you know, like a Castlevania.
You know what? I say everything that's old is new again because they were blaming 80s music for people or kids killing themselves. They blamed the video games back in the 80s for doing the same thing. They keep bringing that back around, and it holds no water.
They're scapegoats. They've been scapegoats forever.
Always.
Nobody's held accountable for actions anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, these perfect little children can't make mistakes, and
That's right.
That's why we have a society. And that's an entirely different rabbit hole for another show. But
yes,
it's really kind of a crappy scapegoat because, I mean, that's a very long conversation.
it really is. It really is. And I really want to do a show on that actually because I think it's important. Especially given the times, but hell, my wife and I were just as an anecdote here, we're just raking leaves today, and I thought, where are the enterprising kids to come by and ask to do it for money?
Not happening.
Why is that?
I was excited.
No one ever wants to mow my lawn. No one ever comes over to ask to shovel my snow for money ever.
Oh man,
it's crazy.
And you know what? It's such an opportunity for these kids nowadays, though. I mean, you got that one kid that started snow plowing, made $36,000 in a month. He got some cheap piece of crap truck with a used blade on it, and was plowing snow. And 36 grand that month that kid made because nobody's doing it. There's no kids doing it.
That just blows me away. I would have given somebody $100 just to do my front yard.
Absolutely. I would have done that this weekend. It snowed here 5 inches in Chicago. I would have given a kid $100. Absolutely.
There's just no value of money anymore because for $100 when I was, 14, 15 years old, I mean, if I was making $100 a day, man, I was lit. Like I was a baller. I could do whatever the hell I wanted to.
That's right.
I mean, that was exciting making money off of my labor. That was a big deal. And now just that ethic just isn't there.
Let me ask you guys, what age do you get your first job? Mine was 13.
I had mine at about 13 too. I was paid under the table.
Yeah,
working at a gas station.
First job.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Jacob?
I was 14.
See? It's maybe it's just our age group, I don't know. Us guys in our 20s, it's pretty cool to see, how we're so entrepreneurial.
Just Amanda says that only crackheads is some around here.
Only crackheads come around here. Sorry about that, Jesse. But hell, they need money too. I would have paid a crackhead.
They're out hustling the kids, man. Screw it. They get all the crack they want. They're out hustling these kids.
I would have paid
the more crack they do, the cleaner your yard gets.
Yeah. If my yard would have came away clean, I'd have paid a crackhead to clean it
up. If he could do my front and backyard in a half an hour, I'm in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And clean your car, man.
And clean my car and walk my dog. And I don't even have a dog.
Do you have a cat or dogs?
You know what, David? I wish I could get you to produce my clothes for me.
Produce your what?
My clothes.
Clothes. Oh. I don't know what that means.
You should make a remix with the laugh. That's what you should do.
Yeah.
I already have it as my ringtone.
Well,
I'm not even kidding you.
No, we need to put some in a soundboard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was either the end video or he's looking for new style, David.
Ah, okay. I'm not Kanye West.
Hello, Mike Phillips. How are you, my friend?
Hey, Jim. I'm good. How are you, man?
Doing
you
great.
Hear me okay?
Doing great. Yeah, we can hear you. Yep. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it was you, man. I thought for sure that it was, but like I said, I'm horrible with names, man.
No, I understand. I actually had to look back at my email because I was thinking to myself, I started watching your show and I thought, man, thank you. And I emailed some. I did the same thing. So I had to get in on the conversation for a minute. You guys are talking about with kids. So I have 3 kids. I have a 19-year-old son who's in college.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 13-year-old son, both who are able-bodied, snow moving. Both of them go out and do stuff. I mean, I think there is so much that has changed in society. And like my 19-year-old, if he could stay inside all the time without dad telling him, hey, get outside and go do something, he would. It's I don't.
Do you think it's the technology that has driven us to this point, or is it just bad boomers, of which I am one, bad boomers and maybe bad Gen X's? But I mean, because this sort of thing seems more prevalent now than it ever has been, and of course everybody says, "Oh, these damn kids," you know.
It's nothing like how it is now, though.
Yeah.
Well, I think societally, here's one of the things that is one of the things that has broken these kids. They have no perception of what real work is, and I'm not saying that to be mean to them, but because you have YouTube, you have Instagram, you have everybody that they see the beginnings of the person, and they can watch the video that person put up in 2003 when they didn't have shit, and then they're watching something in 2018, 15 years later, but it's only 15 minutes later. They don't have a proper concept of time and work and execution, what goes into it, because of a lot of these social media. That's just my opinion. A lot of
I think you have a great point.
That is a great point.
Yeah, Jim, I don't want to cut you off. I'd love to expand on this after everybody kind of replies on this, but he has a very valid point.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And yeah, it's even instant gratification of gaining something physical has creeped in and probably overtaken a lot of this. But what you're actually saying, from what I'm hearing, is that they don't see the behind the scenes, so that doesn't give them the proper perspective of what all goes into real work.
Yeah, well, when we all say it in generationally, like a lot of us seem to be same generation, right? That are on your show right now, and it's like you look at it and we know there is no overnight success. Right. But the reality is, I can go and I can click through and pick your poison, pick your platform, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, and I can go and I can click through it and I can go, oh man, I remember when whatever, it doesn't matter, Van Noss Gaming, Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast got started. I'm assuming everyone knows who Mr. Beast is, right? Big YouTuber,
yeah,
25 million subscribers.
Yeah, most people do. Mm-hmm.
The guy started at 13 years old. He's 21 now, and he's seeing a whole bunch of success. And we may look at it and say, oh, well, 21-year-old kid, he doesn't quite get it. There's 8 years of real time that had to take place, real learning, real sucking that had to take place. And
real work.
Real work. The kids that are going in and watching his videos now, and he gets, however many millions of views, they go in and all they see is what happened right now. They don't see all the other stuff, that the painful stuff, that it's like, oh man, my phone broke, I can't make videos anymore because I'm a 14, 15-year-old kid that can't afford jack, so you got to go shovel driveways.
Right. Yep. Exactly. But they do see these other kids on Twitch making, a few $1,000s a month, and they see, whether it's musicians that are, flaunting all the stuff they have, or it is, again, YouTubers. They don't see the work that goes into it. They just think that it's okay. I get a persona, I can make some money, or that it'll come to me, or I'll get there. But there's no initiative to do anything to get there.
But that's like Ninja. Ninja's got however many millions of subscribers on Twitch, now moved over to Mixer, right? One of the most popular streamers, does all this stuff. There's real genuine work. If he says, I want to be the best streamer, I want to be the best gamer, there's not anyone that's going to be better than me. He had to physically show up to tournaments. He had to put in time. He had to lose sleep to get good at his craft. Whether you're a gamer or not, whatever your craft is, if it's working out, if it's public speaking, if it's doing radio, if you want to be the best of the best, it takes. I mean, you're going to lose sleep. You're going to put in work. It takes time.
I blame that idiot that came up with everyone gets a trophy.
Oh my God! Don't even get me started.
I just want to smack that dude right upside the head, because that started all this. Somebody felt bad about someone not getting a trophy, even though they knew that they didn't excel, and thus began.
Well, the coddling of kids of America. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
One of the places we're significantly broken right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, in so many areas, that every kid gets a trophy. For goodness sake, man. The problem with that, here's one of the real problems with it. I coached hockey for 20 years, and I never subscribed to that. My team, if they lost, they lost, right? It is as valuable a skill to learn how to lose as it is to learn how to win.
Amen.
And the problem is when people don't learn how to lose when they're 7, People don't learn how to lose when they're 15. People don't learn how to lose when they're 19. Then all of a sudden, when they wake up and they're 23 and they get out of college, they're going to suffer some real losses and they're going to be miserable.
Yeah.
Well, the entire system's against them, according to them. They're oppressed.
Yeah. Well, not only that, but
down with capitalism.
They have no desire to win either. If you don't know how painful it is to not be good at what you're trying to be good at without a lot of work, you never learn the value of putting in the hard work and excelling, which is the other side of that coin. Yeah.
And the thing is, sometimes, just sometimes, you might not be good at it. You might just be average. Right. Go find some other shit that or stuff. Excuse my language.
Don't worry about it. They're not going to demonetize me. They are not going to demonetize me. Trust me.
I said stuff. YouTube. Stuff. STUFF.
He said stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a child in the room.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh, now this has to be kid friendly, or else YouTube's going to strike you.
Mikey just reminded me. I want to start a trophy company. That's what I would do.
I'll tell you what.
Cheers to that.
That's where the money's at, yeah.
Man, that's actually a good idea. We need to look into that.
I know, right?
And little kid there, Jacob.
Look at the little billet.
Yeah. The world doesn't know what's going to happen to it quite yet. So, no, it's going to be a good thing or bad thing for everybody.
Please teach your baby how to shovel.
And rake and mow and
I'm already getting ready to kick her ass out. She hasn't got a job yet, so I'm getting pretty damn close.
By age 2, she should be.
By age 2, I mean, she should be supporting.
She should be stacking firewood.
Your wife can't hear any of this, kid. She's like,
trust me, she agrees with what you guys are saying. She didn't.
That's awesome. That gives me hope for the future, actually.
If I could expand just real quick on this, what Mike was saying, I really think that there's a detachment of reality with today's youth, and the reason why I say that is that you take a look at. And David, the producer, actually pointed out too, in America, and that's a key point. I'm not sure how many people have actually traveled and has been for any lengths of time in other countries, but this is really an American phenomenon. You take a look at other rural places out in the world, and these kids are hustling. These kids are trying to support their family. Their family lives with them. They stay at a tight family unit to make things work. And so if you take a look at the kids Jim, I think we discussed this in the past, but if you look at the kids' dreams and ambitions in America, between 60 to 80% of millennials believe that their life is so crazy, that they're so important, that there should be reality TV shows made out of them. That's the consensus of this generation. They think that they are that special, and that's just not the case. And they think everything should be handed to them. And then you take a look at the kids over in China, and that percentage of kids in China want to be astronauts. There's a fundamental issue with how we're raising and how we're rearing up our youth here in the United States. And we become complacent and we become lazy. We see this in the military. We see this in politics. We see this in business practice. We see this everywhere. This is a big standing issue, and I think that the participation trophy culture is something that's really fueling this. And then like with Mike being a hockey coach, I mean, the way that you coach kids 20 years ago, Mike, playing hockey is considered abuse to today's standard. These kids are not coachable anymore.
Then they couldn't play for me.
Yeah, but we see that. We see that all in the news. There was a football. I mean, I played football. When I screwed up or I thought I was a badass, my coach went out, grabbed me by my face mask, and put me on the ground and said, "You ain't all that. You need to listen." I mean, this is a team sport. This is an individual sport. And that's one thing the military taught me, was that, there is no I in team. When you work together and you understand other people and you work together as a unit, you get things done. It's not an individual thing, and sports the exact same way. And so when you have kids that are uncoachable, you now have uncoachable adults. You have an entitlement type of mentality, and that just grows into the society. And today, the society that I feel that we have today is going to fail us. And I'm really afraid of this next generation that's coming into power, because millennials are going to be into power here in the next few years. They're the second largest purchasing power.
Let me. I think this is a good topic, and Jacob, not to cut you off, but to your point,
fine. I was done.
To your point, man, America is the land of opportunity. When you're saying, "Hey, look at these kids overseas," Look at the legal immigrants. I'm not going to get into the illegal immigrant thing. That's a whole nother rabbit hole, Jim. But look at the legal immigrants, the people that come here legally from other countries. They bust their tails, and there are a lot of people, regardless of what the nationality is, that become significantly successful in America by the rules because they have good work ethic.
The most successful people I know in business are not American born.
Absolutely.
And these are people I personally know, but they went through the system, they went through the right way, and they carried that ethic. But yet here in America, we don't have that ethic anymore. And so we are getting outworked, and it's our own damn fault that that's happening. This is the land of opportunity. You can do anything in this country.
Look at the leading indicators, though, Jacob. I'm sorry. Look at the leading indicators, things like education. The education scores and, between SATs and below, K through 12, are all dropping in every single area.
50% of the youth over there in New York right now can't even pass basic reading comprehension. 50% of school students.
Here's part of the reason for that. Jim, your show's been hijacked.
No. Honestly, this is a fantastic conversation. You guys run with it because you're doing great.
Here's one. Let me pose this
that was
to
actually
you.
a good topic, Jacob.
It is.
Go ahead, David.
No, it was Mike.
Oh, so here's what I was gonna. I'll challenge you guys this for anybody here. One of the reasons there's 2 or 3 quick points. One is some of the millennials will figure it out. In the 60s and 70s, everyone thought the hippies were going to hell in a handbasket and everything was going to be broken as well. Mm-hmm. And by the time that those kids or our generation, because I'm from the 70s, depending on where anybody's from, like we figured it out by the 80s and 90s and stuff, right? So there will be some of them that figure it out. The other thing to consider when we were talking about the education system, and David, I think it was you that was saying, hey, the education, kids are failing and so forth. It's because look at all the changes that we've had. Like every person has cell phones. We're connected. I have no idea where you guys are at in the world, but we're connected to 6 different people here live on the screen. Plus you got, 18, 20 people, however many in the chat, all over the world. Technology in the rest of the world has advanced and teaching has not. Kids are taught the same way today in 2019 as they were in 1919. If you went back 100 years, okay, if you went back 100 years in time, and if you brought a time traveler, put it this way, I'm going to go out on a limb, and I think I saw a YouTube video that compared this one time. You brought a time traveler into 2019 from 1919, right? And you compared them and said, you put them in today's classroom, and you said, okay, well, what's different? And the teachers were teaching. The only thing they would pick out that's different, they would say, well, why are the blackboards white? Right?
Yeah.
Because now we have whiteboards. You take a time traveler from 1919 and you hand them a cell phone and it will blow their mind. So we teach the same way in the classroom, but we expect everything else to have evolved. Everything else has evolved, but our education system, at least in America, has not.
I think that some states have gotten it right. Some states like Minnesota that has distance learning, and they do things like teach Mandarin, and they have very advanced courses in some states, and their grades are much higher when the kids are challenged, I think, in different ways, and they learn differently, learn through video. I mean, distance learning is nothing more than learning through video from remote teachers or remote locations, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
And let me break in here. It's funny you bring that up, David, because really what this boils down to is bureaucracy. When the schools became public, what happened was they stagnated like everything in government ever does. And we're seeing the effects of this, right? So, when you talk about distance learning, because we have that here in Indiana as well, some of the programs, because it's been taken over with people who really care and they're not just, holding down government jobs, then things get done, and the education is bumped up several levels. Right. I'm not going to get into a big conversation about whether or not I believe in privatization of schools, but I think there's a great argument for that, given that we've got when was the education when did it go fully public? Back in the 50s, was it? Yeah.
I would have to research.
I don't know.
Right. Well, we at least have 50 years. We at least have 50 years of empirical data.
Public education.
Yeah, to show us what's working and what's not working. And of course, people can't get off their ass. Everybody wants everything for free now, so it's probably further away than we realize. But again, we're seeing those things like distance learning pop up, and private schools.
And here's the real sad part about the way the education system works today. And this all happened with the Telecommunications Act of '96, or was it? I think it was '96. But anyway, it created the E-rate program. The E-rate program provided billions of dollars for rural area public schools to be able to get both infrastructure, all their internet, their telephony, and otherwise, and also things like distance learning technologies, while the inner city schools got nothing, literally next to nothing.
Yeah.
And the problem with that, I mean, having that imbalance, you could see where a lot of the inner city schools are today. If you look at Chicago public schools, I mean, it's a complete disaster.
They're a mess.
Yep.
A complete disaster. I mean, forget about the strike and the union and the whole thing with that, but they are literally a freaking mess. You look
I'm
at
not in
Baltimore.
Chicago, but isn't there a lot of Chicago that's a mess? There's a lot of other things that's a whole another subject in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
education.
certain areas, yes, that certainly have its issues. But
I would argue just about any inner city public school system is a mess. Yeah.
New York, I mean, LA Unified is a complete nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
That's where is the majority of kids getting educated in these major metropolitan areas, and then you have those people as your output into society. What are you going to get?
Yeah, exactly. You reap what you sow,
right?
And we are laying down some bad crops.
Yep.
Well,
I'd love to throw a wrench into this a little bit too.
Sure.
I mean, so we're talking about the evolution of teaching has not changed that much. Now, I don't have the data to confirm or deny that, so I'd have to go based off of your experience and your expertise on the subject, because it seems like you do know what you're talking about. So that being the case, we still have kids that are failing at fundamental things. Math doesn't need to change. Science. I mean, science is science constant. Right. Science is constantly evolving, but it's like the dissemination of the material that's put out there. Kids kids learn by reading, kids learn by watching firsthand. I mean, there's different ways that kids are able to absorb the information and replicate it to learn and grow. And we've identified that. I think that we have so much static that's put into the school systems that are pushing political narratives, where you've got, gender studies. And I'm not saying that that's not important, but the fact of the matter is that we got kids that are graduating school that can't sit down and do a job interview. They can't do basic math. They can't balance checkbooks.
We don't have home ec anymore.
Yeah.
They don't have home ec anymore?
No.
Oh, not for a long time.
Yeah, it's been out for a while now.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Dave, I've been around for a long time.
Basic life skills, and they lack getting the tool set to do well in life, to start moving forward. And so now you're straining the college system. And I've got my master's degree and I'm working on my doctorate's degree through a college system, obviously. But yet we have college. These kids are paying an absurd amount of money to go to college to get retaught the basics that they should have learned in high school. And so it strains the entire system. So it costs more money. There's higher student debt because the lower entry level schools, they're failing. And because schools, I believe, and this is my opinion, I believe that they're pushing more of a political narrative and an agenda than actually educating and having critical thinking, producing adults in the workforce to continue moving forward. And I think that's the problem.
They're going against what their general tenet should be, is to teach them how to think, not what to think. They're literally teaching them what to think rather than how to think. And I think that's, and they don't even see it, which is just blows my mind.
I still have two young kids in school, and that's one of my things I've said to my wife that's so frustrating. And Jacob, I think you're right on. Like the core stuff, math doesn't change. Math is math. Granted, the federal government, the federal government wants to change what math is, right?
Yeah,
because
math
it's
racist.
Math identifies as something else right now. Whatever.
Yep.
Right?
Math identifies.
Math is confused as science.
Hey, identify as shop, damn it.
The core, I'm just here for comic relief. The core stuff, you're right, doesn't change. But the problem is, you're absolutely right. The public education system no longer teaches life skills. And then here's one of the problems: the family. I have 2 young kids in school, and I don't know what what everyone else, how many kids and so forth. I'm convinced they teach to test. They don't teach to live.
Somebody actually said that in the chat. You're absolutely right.
I've heard that. I've heard that several times myself.
Yep. Well, yeah, but that's the part about sitting on a cushy government job. That's all you're going to do, right? You don't know half the material. It's all right in your teacher's edition. And
Well,
that's
you just got to make sure that you get the funding.
Tests.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's the entire purpose of your curriculum. They're still failing at an unprecedented level. At an alarm. I mean, there is an education crisis in our country. I firmly believe that, and I think that leads into poverty. That leads to unemployment. That leads to stagnation of business. That leads to ineffective government. I mean, that affects absolutely everything. You know, and even in colleges, there should never be a quote unquote safe space on a college campus. You go to college to get diversity, to see different things from people all over the country that are going to challenge what you know, to teach you something different, to expose you to something different than the echo chambers of your local community schools.
That's how universities used to be, Jacob.
That's how it was.
Yeah. You go to become an
But
adult.
now they have puppy rooms.
Puppy and Play-Doh rooms. Yeah. It's pathetic. It really is pathetic. We're turning a whole generation into perpetual children.
One of the things Jacob said a minute ago too, and you think about this, when we've removed the life skills classes, the home ec, the woodworking classes, the basic stuff where people learned how to work with their hands, they had to learn to overcome and problem solve, problem solve through doing some of those basic things. And here's the problem: they've removed that from the school, and because of many family units, not everyone's, but many family units, the family unit is removed from the home because they're just trying to work and make it and pay for health care. Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Right. Well,
let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, right.
Because we have a limited amount of time. But
we
had 24-hour edition.
Right. Yeah. We had Mike Rowe on the show.
I know.
Right.
What's that, David?
We had Mike Rowe on the show, and he's of course a big firm believer of the trades.
Mike Rowe's awesome. I love Mike.
I do too.
Mike's an amazing guy, and he started this foundation called Mike Rowe Works, and it's all about getting people into the trade business and also giving out different grants for that. That said, there is really a complete shortage of tradespeople because everyone either wants to do. There's a big gap. Everyone is either doing entry level positions, or everyone wants to be white collar. No one wants to be right there in the middle, right?
That's
no one
true.
wants to be in the trades anymore.
That's true. And I tell you what, because of what Mike said, and I've heard this from several people, that if you really want to make money as an up-and-comer, go to trade school, man. Their shortages 100%. Are off the hook. 100%. And yeah, they're hiring all us old guys for the hands-on stuff because they can't find anybody new. That's where you make a ton of money. And life skills,
I know a kid
man.
that's 23 years old that started his own HVAC business, and he's making 6 figures.
Yeah.
As 23.
Yep.
So by day I work in the automotive industry, and then I do my YouTube thing and leadership education and training and stuff because I enjoy doing that. Mm-hmm. But working in the automotive industry, it'll blow your mind, and you're absolutely right, David, when you're talking about some of these young kids, because you're looking through. I get credit applications sent into us. I've worked in the finance industry for a long time, and the people that have what we would consider the hard labor, blue collar jobs are killing it.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are like the graphic designers, the executives, the income disparity is mind blowing. So it's crazy.
Well, the white collar work was completely oversold. It was completely oversold. We have tremendous debt. We have a very low demand for white collar. A master's degree hardly even means anything anymore. That's one of the big reasons I'm moving my doctorate, to give myself hopefully a little bit more perceived authority. But I work in both white collar and blue collar. I own a corporation. My corporation owns 7 different companies, and one of the branches of my company is real estate development and remodeling. And I'm actually taking and absorbing a roofing company later this year, earlier next year. And so I can't find laborers. I cannot find laborers for $20 to $25 an hour to clean up and pick up stuff. I can't find them.
Certainly a shortage of domestic laborers. There are some transplants, for lack of a better term, because it's going to be on both sides, right? Both illegal and legal. There are plenty of those out there, but yeah, you're not going to find a citizen.
That's
crew.
one of the reasons that a lot of legal immigrants, that a lot of the legal immigrants are killing it. They have good work ethic. They're okay to work with their hands. Hey, I'll go shovel snow for $100. Heck, I'll come to Chicago and shovel your driveway for $100.
Where the hell are they?
You know, my kids are learning the value of it. They get to go, like my son, I negotiated him, my 12-year-old, he went and shoveled snow and emptied trash this past month. I'm in Colorado. And when he was done doing it, he wanted a new gaming mouse. I said, okay, that's fair, because that's cheaper than me paying him $100.
Right.
No, they teach them the value of hard work, though, and that's something. And I've got nothing against. I mean, when somebody's willing to work for me, I'm not going to check documents or anything. I don't play that game. You know, if they show up on time, if they're there to work, I'm going to work them. I'm going to follow through with my end of the deal, and that's that. You know, I've never really gotten into that because, again, they're cash paid or they're 1099, they're independent contractors, so I'm not really held at the same legalities if they're a W-2 with me, and that's how I have my business model. I mean, the fact of the matter is that I can't normally have people even show up on time for very, very simple, minute tasks. And then when it comes to, you know, blue collar work, especially in the Midwest, and I just moved to Westminster, Colorado. My next two projects are here, so I'm in Colorado as well right now. But the issue I was running into was in Nebraska. I mean, we were having people turn down $50 an hour jobs, you know, helping with remodeling or tile installation or laying down floor, whichever, because that was not enough for them, and they were so booked, and they can't get any good labor. They can't get anybody good to work for them, you know, which to me, when I was just starting out in my younger years, without the education, everything that I had, I mean, I'd have killed to have a job that was paying me $20-$25 an hour or more at 20 years old.
Yeah, beats the shit out of $265 an hour that I started out when I went on the.
I was $3.25 an hour to roller rink.
And to add on to what you said about jobs just there, Jacob, today a lot of corporations are very selective of who they want to work for their force. I mean, I understand for something like nursing, doctors, or anything that requires a degree, that'd be fine. But if it's something simple as working at, like, let's say Walmart or a movie theater, some corporations or even fast food are very selective of who they want. And the people that never given much of a chance are the people who are disabled, like myself and many others. Because I've seen many autistic and disabled folks don't get much of an opportunity to show that they can do the job that they want to do.
That's a good point, Angel. However, you're a protected class. So having a documented, you know, on paper disability, you are a protected class. And so if you are denied employment, there needs to be a reasonable cause. Or if you're let go, there needs to be a reasonable cause, because again, you're a protected class. And so when it comes to the corporate culture and how corporations work, is you have to be able to reasonably perform your job in respect to your disability. And it doesn't mean that every job is going to be a right fit for you, because you do have to understand that you know, when you wear a corporation uniform, you are representing that corporation, and not everybody's a good fit, regardless of disabled or not. But they have to give you, like for me, they could just not like my face and deny me, right? But for you, I mean, you are protected. That protection was put in, so you cannot be unfairly judged with what issues you do have.
Well,
I'll give you an
example. Yeah, I'll give you an example, Angel. That my daughter was home from college this summer, and she went to go just get a part-time job at Dunkin' Donuts, right? Just to fill time during the summer before she went back to school. There were 62 applicants for one job in the suburbs of Chicago, not in the city. You know, we're way out here in the suburbs. And they had 62 people apply for it. I just imagine the gluttony of, you know, people, because the age range of people that are going into either fast food or retail are either people that are trying to fill the gap of their Social Security, you know, at the upper end, and at the lower end, kids just coming out of school, summer jobs, and so on. So those jobs are almost the hardest to get.
Good point, David.
Yeah, that is a very good point.
Especially with Walmart. I mean, you'll have a lot of retirees that have been in the retail industry and the workforce and have the maturity level and the experience of 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and you're also competing with that too. But again, you are a protected class. And
You
so
are.
And so that does play a role as well if you are denied employment.
All right. Wow. Thank you.
Sure
And by
thing.
the way, Jim, you're gonna have to rename this stream. I remember when Pop was a nickel.
Pop was a nickel and comic books were a dime. You're right, David.
A little before my time, but I think
Oh,
I
it's-
got comic books for like 25 cents.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
before my time too, Jake.
Okay, she stands alone.
but only slightly.
It was before my time. I'm a 70s, 80s child, man.
Oh,
the
same
best.
same here. Same here. I believe I'm still the oldest man in the room, but
I don't think so. You weren't born in the 60s, were you?
oh, sure it was.
Oh, okay. So was I.
Yeah, I'm 63, man. No, I'm not 63 years old. I was 1963.
Oh, yeah. I'm 66. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mike, where in Colorado are you?
Colorado Springs. I'm a little south. Yeah, hour south of you, man. So you live in Westminster now? You moved to Westminster, you said?
Yeah, I have one property here, and then I have 2 properties up in the Conifer area.
Nice. Yeah, I've been here for 35 years. Originally Southern California, transplant to here.
Wow,
Before
where's
it was
Southern
the cool
California?
thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
San Clemente.
Okay,
San Juan,
I'm from just north of Sacramento. That's where I was born and raised.
Yeah.
This stream's all over tonight, Jim. Where you're making connections. We're talking education, politics.
That is what this is all about, man. This is all about.
And,
Go ahead,
and,
Angel.
David is producing my clothes while he works on my new intro.
I'm living the dream.
Living the dream.
The more you know.
The more you know.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, well, Jim, are you? I mean, are you talking about possibly getting rid of the Sundays? Is that on the chopping block right now?
I have been considering not getting rid of Sundays, but getting rid of the panel. But after tonight, man, if we can have conversations like this, I'll do this till I die. But yeah, because I really enjoy this sort of thing. It's and I still want to leave it open for anyone. I don't want to have 50 people on here at one time, because that can get unruly. But
just out of curiosity, what almost made you consider getting rid of the panels for Sundays?
well, I kind of enjoy the one-on-one quite a bit, right? That I can get into a little bit more depth with each individual.
It's hard
But,
to
you
have
know,
mass conversations.
It really is. It really is. But when it's a panel like this, we certainly can. And like I said, I'm all about that. And I probably should have mentioned it, because after this, it's probably much further away than I first thought.
Keep showing up on Sundays, because I'm actually really enjoying it. It's hard to get so many sane people in the room at the same time.
It really is. And
it's tough.
we talk about all these subjects and about how things are turned to shit, for lack of a better term, and it seems like everybody are of like mind, and it, like Jesse was saying the last time he was on, he was like, we hear about it in the news. The 24-hour news cycle is probably the worst thing that ever happened to us. Yeah, because it feeds everybody that same sort of stuff, bleeds, and all that kind of thing, and so our perception is skewed. And then when I have all these good people on, I've had 100 people on, I don't remember one person that would have come to a disagreement on many of these points to any real degree. None of those people. Let me put it this way: none of those people that we're talking about that have a skewed outlook on things, and it tells me that Jesse's right. It's the perception is not necessarily reality. The majority of the people still are hardworking and whatnot. I just have to believe that. It's
Negative
anecdotal.
Perception gets ratings, and ratings sell advertising, man.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Follow
And
the
not
money.
And not just that, but they tend to scream the loudest.
Yes.
And that was really brought to my attention with this last election in 2016. Not to get political or anything, but when they talk about the silent majority coming out, the silent majority of us that are of this mind, that do have the same fundamental values, we have become kind of fed up with how things are. The problem is that we have, and again, not to get political, so I'll just briefly touch this, is that we rely on elected officials to represent who we are. I mean, that's how the system works. The problem is that in that chamber of representatives, a lot of them are not properly representing the silent majority anymore. Where the country really wants to, where the country really wants to go, they're virtual signaling to smaller groups to get their approval, for lack of better words, for ratings. And that's why you see a lot of catering or a lot of coddling to different things that are really against, because the country was founded on majority rule, minority rights. Any minority is protected, and they should be. They should always have a voice, but they shouldn't be able to jump up and down and scream the loudest and get all the attention. And then the flyover states or the hard workers that is found that has the backbone of this country, that runs this country, should be disregarded. And that's how the majority of us feel nowadays.
I would like to see campaign contribution limits for every single different tier, because the politicians are spending between 2 to 3 years campaigning and not actually running our country. And that to me is an abomination.
It is.
Limits.
Well, here's one of the problems. Politics, there's no one of the things you said, Jim, that I keyed in on is, one, if you did have panelists that disagreed, any one of us could have different views. Like I just was like, what the heck? I'm going to pick up the phone and call in. I literally looked up the email that we exchanged and I said, what the heck? What's it going to hurt? Right.
Mhm.
And even if we had opposing views, everybody here could still be, I think, be respectful with one another.
We
right?
should have
Absolutely.
opposing views.
Well, I would demand it. I mean, I have the master button. So if anybody, I certainly wouldn't beat up on anybody that had different opinions. And I would expect them not to do it either.
The other thing,
this is the thing I love about this panel tonight is that whoever is liberal or conservative, we're able to talk things in a discussion without arguing with each other. But there are some political opponents who are conservative and liberal that fight each other over their opinion and scream at them, shout at them, and they go as far as punching them, all because they have a different view than what you think.
And to those people, Angel, I would say, even on the lower level, if you want to yell and scream to get your point, you're a bad person. All the way up to resorting to violence, you're just a bad person. I mean, there's nothing that says we can't be civil to one another, even in disagreement.
Well, and the unique thing is, there's a couple things. One, not one of us has identified any of ourselves as conservative or liberal. That we don't get into the labeling. And then two, politics in general, there was a time when politics was not a career. That's one of the problems that we have. Politics was a civil service.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
You go back in time, and not that I'm living back in time, but I keep bringing it up, right? You get in your DeLorean, you hit 88 miles an hour, 1.21 gigawatts, right? Great Scott, we've arrived. We've arrived where the United States isn't jacked up. So the thing is, the people that were politicians that were truly representing the people showed up to represent the people, and then they returned home and they had regular jobs and they put in work and they participated as one of the regular people. They weren't exempted from anything else.
Right.
And that's one of the things that has become so twisted, is somewhere along the way, politician became a job.
Yeah.
We need to get back to that.
We really do.
We need to get. That's one of the reasons. But if you like him or not, the president that we have now, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people supported that, is because they were tired of the career politician. It was the only choice that we had to get away from the career politicians.
That's true.
I mean, you don't go and I've served public office. I mean, I held a position in the state of California for 3 years before I resigned out of my department due to corruption. I got out of it. I had some issues. I was an auditor. And the department that was continuously not balanced correctly was the state of California. It wasn't the companies I was actually going over monitoring grant money and grant money and other fund money that was sent to them for development, community service development, stuff like that. So when I presented up, I was told that no action would be taken, that nobody was going to lose their job. They were going to take all the money they could to expand their department. And that's the mentality of just continue to expand. And so I was done with it, and so I resigned. And so a lot of people that, you know, if you look at politics, if you're a public servant, you don't become a public servant to get rich, right? When you leave an office and you're filthy ass rich, there's an issue there because you're not making that from your salary.
Yeah.
You're making that from back end deals. You're making that from lobbyists. You're making that, you know, you're being influenced by other powers instead of representing your people. And that's the problem that we have.
Absolutely. And what you mean by that is you shouldn't be going into office to make money, right? There shouldn't be that available to you.
Well, no, you should go into public. I mean, you should compensate it for your time.
Oh, compensated, not to become rich though.
Yeah, you don't leave office and be worth $15 million.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, let's jump off this for a minute because I want to say hello to Not a Great Gamer and Steve Carpenter. How you guys doing? You came in the tail end of the show. I'll try to leave her on for a bit longer, but I got an appointment early in the morning. How you guys doing, man?
But before you, before Not a Great Gamer and possible say something, I wouldn't mind catching you, Ganna, because we gotta catch you and tomorrow.
Thanks for that, Angel.
Oh, she's terrific.
She is terrific. So, how you guys doing tonight, man?
Was enlightening.
Is what?
That was enlightening. Thanks, Angel. Great input there. Yeah, I was fine standing about like a fart in the wind for 20 minutes whilst no one would shut up, so I couldn't say hello. Then I cried a bit, wrote a letter to Hillary Clinton telling everyone how offended I am. Fuck you all, Hillary 2020. Woo! That's my views. And now I'm out of here. I want the psycho to get in.
You gotta love Gamer.
Oh man, knew that was coming.
Guy a trophy.
Knew that was coming. Yeah, participation trophy for you, Nag. Steve, welcome
Sausages trophy. Yes.
Steve, welcome to the show for the first time, my friend.
Thank you. First time on. I've been following you for quite a while. Enjoyed it. Great conversation tonight.
Oh, I agree. I agree. It's so nice to have you up, man. I'm sorry it's at the end of the night, but
yeah. It was funny. I was listening to Mike. He said he was from San Clemente. From where he was at, I'm probably 5, 6, 7 miles away from him only. And this conversation hits home being in California.
Yeah, I was born and raised there, and then I've been in Colorado for the last 30 plus years. But yeah.
Hey, Steve, are you former Air Force?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Thank you for your service. My wife was Air Force. I was Army. So thank you for your service, man. Appreciate it.
Another brother. How you doing, man?
Thank you for her service.
I was in Boy Scouts.
Nag, thank you for your service, man. I mean that sincerely.
Just saying, didn't want to tell anyone, but yeah, I got some good badges back in the day.
Braggart.
Yeah, braggart.
I could tie a reef knot in like 10 minutes, motherfuckers. I'm telling you now.
Well, he's got me.
He needs a public service patch instead of a trophy.
I tell you what, man, he can push a granny across a crosswalk better than any of us here. I tell you what.
I can indeed.
Where's his gold sausage when you need him?
Yes.
Well, Jim, when the panel was talking here, and you were talking about the big change and everything around. Growing up here in Orange County, I've lived here just about all my life since I was 5 years old. In fact, this will give, excuse me, a kick is the I-5 freeway, Mike. I used to skateboard on the freeway when they were building it. I mean, that's how long I've lived down this
that's
area.
incredible.
And in the 2016 election, it was the first time in 70 years that it went blue here for Orange County.
Wow.
It'd been 70
Crazy.
years up to that beforehand, and I'll tell you, there's going to be a big change around. I think this next go around.
You think so?
I think so.
It's going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, it will be. Hey, I'm gonna run. Thank you so much for having me on. You've got other people waiting, and I know I've no
by the way,
shortage of words.
before you go,
Take care, Mike.
Hang on, Mike.
It was great meeting you,
Take
man.
care,
I'd
Mike.
love to connect with you, man.
Bye.
Mike,
blessings.
I just want to say sub to your channel. Looking forward to what your channel has to offer. It looks terrific so far.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man.
Mike,
thanks again, guys.
yeah,
I'll
Mike,
catch up
thanks.
again, Jim.
Thanks so
Take
much for
care,
coming
Mike.
on, man. Come on 101. We'll have another one of these discussions.
Love to, man.
God
All right,
bless,
buddy.
Mike. Lovely to meet you, sir.
Take care. Guys, it is midnight as the Eastern time
I
stands.
need to go. I have to go because I'm actually totally busy.
Where's Angel calling from? The fucking moon?
He is.
Well, that's why you have all those ticks. It's the ping.
Well, Jelly Duck.
Ping from the satellites.
Take care,
Yeah.
everyone.
Jelly Duck, thanks for coming on, man.
See you, Jelly Duck.
All right, we'll see you, Ahmed. Take care, bud.
Bye, everyone. Have a good one.
Yeah, I'm gonna take off here too, guys.
Well, let me just shut it off here, guys. Is there anything you guys want to promo before we knock her down? What?
I have something real quick, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead, David.
Tomorrow's live stream, we're gonna have comedian Bob Levy on.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
That's on the Juliet Miranda channel?
Yeah, that's on Juliet's channel.
Awesome. Thanks, David.
Thanks.
What about you, Jacob? What's going on in your world, briefly?
Nothing much. Just working, just busy as hell. But I do say that, David, I love your mic presence, man. I love how that mic broadcasts your voice. I'll have to get some tips from you because I'm a brand new mic user here. So,
Dude,
fantastic, man.
This is a $67 microphone that is the best I've found for podcasting. Yeah, so I use it for lives.
Cool, man. I'll have to connect with you, brother. I'll try to see that stream yesterday. I really like your personality and everything. I'd love to see what you're all about.
Oh, thanks, Jacob. Same here, man. Got to check you out. Be good.
All right. Nag, what do you got going on, man?
I can't wait to hear this.
Stick around.
Stay tuned.
Free chocolate, free unicorns, free education. Bernie Sanders speech. You're welcome.
You need to run for president, man.
Thanks, Gamer.
I love Gamer.
I'm pretty good with American politics. I do love all the bullshit that you guys chuck at everyone and make it such a grand spectacle. There's flashing fucking lights and everything when they should just elect him as a normal person. But
are you from the UK? Where are you from?
Yeah,
I am from England.
Okay, so you're
he doesn't. Yeah,
okay, so you're second place.
I'm an
I don't
incestuous
really care
tea
what
drinker.
second place has to say.
I don't mind being second place. I mean, I wouldn't say America's exactly first. That's probably China or Russia. But I'm happy for a second. Thank you.
Yeah, you got a good point these days.
Yeah, not if we got anything to say about it.
Yeah,
we better get busy,
we said
gents.
something about it quite a bit ago. And
Yeah,
they haven't.
We got to get busy, gents.
We're leaving near you anyway. We're putting that anchor up, and we've all been told if we all grab an oar and row at the same time, we'll move towards America bit by bit. That's the plan.
Well, I figure you can. Yeah, you can be in the Bahamas by June.
Maybe.
Steve, I know it was short, man, and I want you on for a one-on-one, but now's your opportunity to tell us what's going on with you and your YouTube presence or otherwise.
I'm just mainly I fly drones.
Oh.
And I do a lot of sunset flights from here in Southern California is when I try to go up to shoot. So do a lot of live streaming is what I do.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
I usually don't get a chance to see you too often live because of my work schedule and life schedule, but I do go back and I watch the programs once they do post.
Well, that is absolutely appreciated, my friend. Absolutely. And like I said, I do want you on a one-on-one. We can hit whatever subject you want to, or if it's one of my topics, then so be it. Well, guys, thanks so much for coming up. It was really good conversation. I'd love to have these every time that I have my panel shows.
Yes.
But it is honestly appreciated. I thank you so much for coming up.
Yeah, great people today, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's really cool. It gives me a little bit more faith in humanity. So it's nice to hear guys that still have their head on their shoulders.
Tell me about it, dude. Tell me about it. All right, guys. Well, you have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later.
All right,
cheers,
good night,
everyone.
man. Thanks, Jim.
You bet. Well, folks, that is another Sunday night panel. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. it's been my dream for a while to have these panel shows where we can actually get into, some meat on a conversation, and it happened tonight. I want to thank again all my guests for coming up. Guys are great. And all of you that wanted to come up, you're great as well. Folks in the chat, you guys have great conversations going on. I didn't get to say hello to a few people, and I want to say hello to them now. Let's see, Not So Morning Show, how are you? Let's see, who else was in here? 400 AGL. I did say hello as I typed a bit. I believe, I believe Alex Bale joined us for a while. Alex, how you doing? Good to see you again. And Jimmy C, I don't know if I said hello to you, my friend, but Vaping with Nikki B, how are you? Kentucky, or Kenneth the Kentucky fam, how are you? Thanks for being here, guys. I know you guys had a great conversation in the chat, because I was trying to watch it as much as I possibly could. For all of those of you who watch this on the other platforms, thank you so much for being here. Again, we're on Sunday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we will be back again tomorrow night. Tomorrow night is a do-over. We're going to talk about how well or not you play with others. What is your perception of others' perception of you? That is tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern. I hope you all join us. For all my guests and myself, thanks again, folks. I have to leave you with this, since we are at midnight. Make sure you treat others the way you would want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a better place. Guaranteed. Thanks so much, folks. And we'll see you live.